Well, hello everyone. Welcome today. Thanks for tuning in to this video, to this podcast. I am Shane Philpott, and I'm so glad you took the time to join us today. Listen, I want to talk about today what to do when passion dies. What do you do when the passion dies? What do I mean by passion? Well, you know what I mean. I'm talking about that thing that fires you up, keeps you getting up in the morning, that you chase and pursue with all your might, that thing that you used to be in love with, and it seems like your love has been lost. And we don't want to live our lives like that, do we? So let's talk a little bit about this thing called passion. And what do we do when the passion for something has died? As I was thinking a little bit about this podcast today, I put down some notes here. What are some symptoms of where our passion has died? Or maybe it's not completely dead, but maybe the passion is waning, or the passion is starting to die. How about that? Becoming bored, becoming jaded, feeling detached, losing interest, whatever description you might insert in the blank. I think that we've all been there at times. You might be there right now. I know that I've been there before, and in different times of my life, I feel like I visit this place sometimes again and again more than I would admit to like. You know, I'm a go-getter. I know many of you that are watching this video are go-getters as well. And I don't think any of us likes being in a place where it feels like our passion is diminished or our passion has died. And so maybe you're feeling this bored, jaded, detached, losing interest, maybe becoming some judgmental, maybe approaching every situation with a level of sarcasm that you didn't have before. You know what I'm talking about. I'm talking to your heart today. And so one of the things I wrote down in thinking about this particular topic was this. We have to ask ourselves, how did we get here? What was it that on our journey from point A to point now that got us here? And there might be a host of many reasons, but as I've talked to people throughout my life and ministry and all around America, I've found there's various reasons that people's passion will wane, people's passion for something will begin to die. I mean, passion for jobs, passion for ministry, passion for relationships, whatever it might be. And here's a few things that I put down that I find always seem to rise to the top when it comes to why is my passion not what it used to be? Busyness, crisis, maybe a trauma entered into our life. Maybe we've been doing this thing for so long, sometimes so long turns into too long. Busyness is, it really is one of the major pitfalls of the day that you and I live in. We live such busy lives in a busy nation. Everything's busy. And everyone's busy. Our children are busy. Our spouses are busy. Things that are going on in our job is busy. Things that are going on in our ministry is busy. And it seems like we're just stretched so thin. We need a couple more hours in a day. It'd be nice to have another day in the week. Wouldn't it be nice to really get a couple more hours of sleep at night? And where are the years going? It seems like 1 year turns into 5, turns into 10. And busyness gets in there, and maybe a crisis hits you or some type of a trauma. I've always said this, drama leads to trauma. And I have found that a lot of people, and I'll just be transparent here today, one of the reasons that I've encountered many times this kind of area where it's like my passion has died out is because I got neck deep into drama, and it wasn't even so much my drama. It was someone else's drama. It was another situation, another circumstance. But, I got brought in hook, line, and sinker. And before you know it, that drama begins to overwhelm me. I begin to overcommit. I'm already busy. I take on more busyness trying to fix other people's problems, which you and I both know you can't fix other people's problems. You can help them, point the way, lead them to water, but you can't make them drink. And so sometimes great drama leads to great trauma. And so not just only does busyness help kill passion, but, trauma in our lives will do that. Sometimes a crisis will enter in. Sometimes something we've been doing for so long now turns into too long. A number of years ago, me and a friend, we traveled to Florida. We went down in January, living here in the Midwest. It's nice to get out of the cold, frozen tundra, as it were. And we traveled to Florida, rented, Harley Davidsons, and we were going to ride down through the Florida Keys. And we were down into one of the keys down there. This is in January, and it's beautiful, 80 degrees. And we're talking to a guy who's selling. He has a motorcycle rental dealership. And he's selling that, and we were talking to him, and he's getting ready to move back to, I think it was Northern Ohio and Northern Pennsylvania or something. And I remember me and my friend, we were just kind of like, why would you leave the Florida Keys? Why would you go back, to that? And he said, I've just been doing this for so long. He says, I've been here for 20 years. He said, I'm tired of, and he filled in the blank. And he said, I'm tired of the posers. And he just went down this huge list. But at the end of the story, it was this: he had done something for so long, it had become too long. And so now that we've identified, that sometimes the passion gets lost, it begins to wane, the symptoms of that, what brought this into your life, the question now is, what do we do about this? In the last minute or two, I just want to say this. Sometimes, I think if we're not careful, we will try to keep alive a passion that's not meant to be kept alive. The Bible says there's a time and season for everything. There's a beginning and there's the transition in the middle, and there's an ending to a season. And some seasons are shorter, some are mid, some are long, but we know there's an end to every type of season. Sometimes seasons end. Sometimes it's time to go into that new job. Sometimes it's time to go up to that new leg of ministry. Whatever it might be, pursue a new dream. And so we have to be so very, very careful that we don't just resurrect. Let me put it this way. Do not keep a passion on life support if it's time to let it go. And so sometimes we just gotta let it go and say, it's time to move on. So seasons change. And sometimes we need to say, well, we want to get this passion back in our life. We might have to renew. In the next podcast, I want to talk a little bit more about helping to identify what those passions are and how to keep them in our life. But let me just say this one more thing. We're living today in a day where a lot of people in America, and this is happening nationwide, politically, financially, ministerially, entrepreneurially, and in every area of our life, people are realizing right now, it's time to simplify. We need to streamline, get simple, get lean, get clean. And I will tell you this, if you're not lean, if you're not operating on an efficient level, all of this baggage will get on top of you, and it'll help, or I shouldn't say it'll help, it'll pile on top of your passion, and it'll kill that thing. The worst thing to live with is a dead passion or a dying passion. So we've got to live clean, simplify, streamline, get efficient, and get out from underneath the burden and the baggage of all that stuff. And listen, just like yes is a word, no is a word. We need to learn the word no. Sometimes the word is no. I'm not going to take that on. I can't bring one more thing on because I've got my own passions in my own life that I want to achieve. So if your passion is waning, if your passion is dying, well, let's identify whether is it time to let it go? Is it time this season to move on? Is it time to renew it? And if it is, let's get lean and let's get clean and let's get ourselves into just a lean machine when it comes to those things. Hey, listen, I want to thank you for tuning in. You've made these podcasts and videos such a great success. They've been viewed by thousands of people all throughout our nation, all around the world. We're so glad that we can come into your life and into your home and into your busy time and be a blessing to you. If you enjoy what you're seeing here, we ask you to share it with your friends. Let one another know about it. Find us and like us on Facebook. We're on Instagram and Twitter, and also our podcasts are now available on iTunes. So listen, I trust it's been a blessing to you. Next week, we're going to talk a little bit more about how to identify and how to nurture the passion that's in your life. God bless you. And I just want to remind you again, the future's bright, and there's nothing you cannot do without Christ in your corner.